So the
Sorry.
no problem. The 200 Club grew out of the fact that I have a lot of yarns here that we never released as specific yarns, you know, like Symphony is a yarn, or Tencel was a yarn, or Madison was a yarn. We never released these as individual yarns, but they were the yarns that we used in making stuff and a lot of other places. And a lot of them are very nice yarns. Um, and as most of you know, I'm still here. I'm still dyeing. I still really like dyeing yarn, so I'm not going anywhere in the short term. But in the long term, I'm not going to do this when I'm 80. So at some point in the next 10 years, Prism will go away. And so I'm not replacing a lot of the yarns as we sell the inventory out. But these are yarns that I have. So I've been designing with these. The nice thing about these yarns for my Floridian friends is that few of them are wool. There's a small wool component. Most of them are cotton and rayon, and they're all a little bit lighter weight. So whereas Wild Stuff kind of knit on a size 8 needle, 4.5 to the inch, the 200 Club yarns knit at 5 to the inch on a 6 needle. And so they are a little bit lighter weight. Now, here's the thing. Every single one of these yarns, regardless of what the heft of it is, they're all gauge compatible, and they're all 200 yards. A skein of each one is 200 yards, hence the 200 Club. They're all the same price. So there's no differentiation. And the models that you've seen and the models that I'm going to show you now, which you've not seen, all use a big variety of the different skeins. Typically one skein per yarn style or color, because the fun of it is mixing it up. So I'm going to start you off with some summertime things, and I'm wearing one that I particularly like, which is a chevron tee. And this is not like a revolutionary brain surgery here, because we've seen the chevron tee before. But in this case, what I did was to take a selection of 200 Club yarns, and I made my own magic ball. Now, somebody asked about how you tie the yarns together in a magic ball, so let me explain a magic ball. If any of you have knit with Wild Stuff or any of the stuffs, you will know that as you knit along, you're on a yarn and then boom, it changes to another yarn, and those two yarns are tied together. And you just put that knot to the back side, and you're going to neaten it up later, and you keep on knitting. So you can do this as well, and then you're not paying for the labor for someone else to do it. So you make your own magic ball. And because I don't have staff anymore, I can't do this for you. But by the same token, you get to have it exactly the way that you want it. All right. As opposed to being limited to the colors that we offer. This is the equivalent of light stuff. Okay. Light stuff. And for anybody who really doesn't want to do this, but would like any of these sweaters, you can go pick from the colors of light stuff that are left. And I don't think there's very many colors left, but I think there's a Nairobi and gelato, and those colors are on Fontel's website under stuff. So you can go look at those. So if you don't want to tie your own yarns together, you can do that. Now, the beauty of tying your own yarns together is that you get to have each yarn exactly where you want it to be. And the instructions that come with any of these magic ball style patterns explain to you how many cranks to do if you've got a ball winder, or how many revolutions around your fingers if you're making a ball by yourself, so that you get the right, because if you don't know, you could wind up with a stripe this big, and you don't want to do that. So you want to have the right balance of textures and colors and yarns. So that's all explained. And once you've made those balls, and it'll take you maximum of a couple hours to make your magic balls, make all the yarn that you've got for a sweater into magic balls, or don't necessarily make them as you need them. It's not egregious. It's not going to take outrageous amounts of time. And then you just start knitting. So this is an easy peasy tee. You come up to here, and the arms are cast on. So there's no, the only sewing there is at the end is the shoulder. And really, you could go up and over. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it because you need to have a seam here and a neckband here that will stabilize that stretch. Otherwise, the whole thing is going to stretch, and this is not going to wear the same way that the rest of the sweater will. It will stretch out, it will get holey. It's not going to be good. So I really recommend making it in 2 pieces. And this can be made in any of the color groupings that are on the website. Okay, any of the color groupings for 200 Club yarns. There are a bunch on there that we've named and suggested, and you can just order it by for the size. And I think, Fontel, all that information went up per model, correct?
Yes.
So for each size, you will know how many skeins you need to get. I have always given you the instruction for the minimum number of skeins that I think that you need in order to have enough variety to make it interesting. Okay, you might be able to get away with only 5 skeins to make your sweater, but 5 skeins isn't really enough to give you the variety of texture that you want. So, but because of the situation, it's not egregiously expensive. So it's okay to get another skein or 2 to have the variety. It's also okay to go into your own stash, mine your stash, find things that are equivalent, engage, and throw little bits of them in as well. It'll just make your fabric more interesting. So, do I have any questions about the chevron tee?
And if you have questions, you need to unmute yourself because I've muted you all.
And talk about the chat.
You can also use the chat function, by the way. Carrie does monitor that the whole time. So if you have a question, you could pop it in there and she'll tell everyone that question as well. But yes, no, okay.
Laura.
Yeah.
Laura, I have a question about the chevron tee.
Yep.
Is this done in stockinette stitch? And do you knit the front separate from the back? And then my third question is, how many rows of each color do you do before you change colors, before you go to the next one?
Okay, I'm going to answer in reverse order. You make a magic ball. You make a magic ball, and you make the magic ball where they're all tied together the way that I tell you in the pattern instructions. Okay. So wherever, sometimes it's only 1 row, sometimes it's 5 or 6 rows. It's a little bit random, and you want that randomness. You don't want it to, you don't want to hidebound yourself with a certain number of rows. Yes, this is knitted in 2 pieces. If for those of you who have known me for years know that I like seams because they add structure. So you could easily do the body in the round up to the sleeves, but then you have to break and go back and forth. So there is just a little side seam and a shoulder seam. And so you can see it doesn't match. Okay, if it was important to match, you could do it in the round. But until I said that, did anybody know that they didn't match? I mean, it's not what you see. And yes, it is stockinette except for the first 8 rows, which are garter, just to keep them flat. Okay. Any other questions? All right. And I'm going to move on to another, and you know, this is also part of the deal. You get to see me do this all day long. So there's our little, and you can see what a nice, flexible, drapey fabric this is.
And that's called the 200 Club chevron tee.
And now we're looking at the shaded tee. Which is just another simple variation of a really nice T shape. Again, 1 piece, well, a front and a back up to the armholes, cast on the sleeves, which I love how that looks in this because you get this really nice directionality. here, which is really cool. There is a little bit of shoulder shaping, and you can see that because you get this V, which I also think is very cool. It is a nice length. It actually, it covers my tushy. So with shorts or pants or whatever, it's going to look great. This is half linen stitch, and it is, I forget how many skeins it is. If you wanted to just make this tee out of a magic ball, you'd only need 6 or 8 skeins. But if you want to make it shaded like this, you have to have 9 skeins because you have to have enough of the colors to make the nice shading. And this is worked not in a magic ball. This is ABC. All right. For those of you who don't know what that is, you cast on with A, you drop A and you attach B. You work across with B, you drop B and you attach C, you work across with C, and A is waiting for you. So you can use 3 yarns in 1 row stripes without ever worrying about what you're carrying. It just calmly goes up the side edge. So you work the first 3 yarns for a little while, and then you take A out and you put D in, and then you work that for a little while, and you take B out and you put E in, and you just keep going up until you get through the entire range of colors. But there's more, because here is a crochet version of the exact same tee. And I know that Funtel does have some crocheters. This is crochet seed stitch, which is the equivalent of linen stitch or half linen stitch in crochet. And you can see what a nice flexible fabric that is for a crocheted fabric. And while I chose to do this in shades of gray and black, you can see how pretty it is when it's got colors. So I pulled for you just an assortment of what I can do. So here is a range of olives. These are not on the website because I just decided to do it yesterday. Sorry, Fontel. But it's a range of olives and a range of denim and a range of purple plum. So, which doesn't look very purple on my screen. It looks blue, but it isn't. It's purpley. So I can do this kind of dark to light range on kind of any color that you can imagine. So this would be, teal to lime, plum to lavender, navy to light blue, olive to celery. So it can be anything that you want it to be, because I have the ultimate control at my dying fingers. And I don't mind dying. I don't mind dyeing whatever anybody wants, because I'm just keeping a huge wall full of this yarn in all kinds of colors. So if I have to dye something to fill in for a special order for someone, that's great. Just takes another week or so to get it. But I really love doing that. It's really a very fun thing.
Laura, this tee is really cute. It's kind of tunic length. And
yes.
I love the way that design happens across the shoulders and down the sleeves when you turn sideways.
Yeah, I love it too.
I love it. And we all know that half linen stitch wears like iron. Like that sweater is going to wear like iron.
Yeah.
The best.
And you can see how nice and drapey it is. It doesn't feel heavy. The sleeves are a real nice length. They're a little longer than on the chevron tee, which of course, if you want them longer on the chevron tee, just put another repeat on either side when you increase. Remember that you have the ability, you the knitter, you have the ability to make it be whatever you want it to be. And if you need our help to do that, all you have to do is ask. We're here to help you do that.
So, I love it. I love the olive. I like the black too and gray.
The black is gorgeous.
It is.
Yeah. So are there any questions about either of these?
Laura, just to reiterate, on the website, there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. There are 16 colors pictured, but if they want a tonal, all they have to do is order it and tell us what tonal they want. So,
correct. That is absolutely correct.
Just wanted to clarify. Thanks.
Yep. if I'd thought about it earlier, we would have done more, but Fontel, I forgot to look and I forgot to ask you, the sheets that I did on the auction items, they're not really auction items, but were they able to go up just as one sheet where it's identified as 1, 2, 3?
Yes, I think so. I think
Okay.
that's perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, great. And if there are no more questions with this, I'll strip and put another one on. Okay. This is the one thing I haven't quite figured out how to make it be simple. It's not simple. Not if we're going to show all that stuff. Okay.
We just need to be in the warehouse again so that we can clear the table out for you and throw it in the box.
Yeah. Yes.
That
Yeah.
was fun. Your little helpers. Gorgeous. Oh my God, this is gorgeous.
So many of you have knit with my linen, which is no longer. I have a very, very few skeins of sport weight linen left, 0 lace weight linen left. But I had enough interesting colors that I made this, what I'm calling a duster, and is purposefully very oversized with a skinny short sleeve. Now that sleeve could of course go down to the wrist, and doesn't need to be this skinny, but it kind of keeps the whole thing tame. Let me see if I can stand on this one. You'll lose my head, but you can see the garment better. And you know, linen, of course, is a miraculous fiber. So because there's not much linen left, there is on the website this sheet that identifies these particular kits by number, and I'm going to show them to you. That's it, though. I mean, you can claim it right now, and we'll put it in a box with your name on it, or someone will claim it at some point. So there's also a little bit of stuff in here. And there is a 200 club yarn that is selected in each case for an accent color, because I was so limited in what I had for the linen. So here's a dark greenish range. There's a little bit of purple and tumbleweed in it. And what I picked to go with it in stuff are these two with this as an accent.
And Laura, let me ask you a question for everybody. The size that you have on is the size 1, right?
The size that I have on is I think is the size 2.
It's a size 2.
Yeah, this is the size.
Which makes
This
sense.
actually might be the size 3. Do you want to know that?
It's pretty oversized. Yes.
It's really oversized.
Yeah, size 1 is 40 inches, it says. Size 2 is 50, and a size 3 is 60.
I'm pretty sure this is the 60.
I would think,
yes,
because it was quite big on you.
Yes, it is.
And you're more of a 40, right?
Yes, it's the 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're saying that because there's a difference in price. The size 1 at a 40 is an oversized 40.
No, it's actually 40 inches.
Okay.
I mean, those sizes are the actual finished busts.
Okay.
So the difference is in the linen. So I would just take away the skeins. If somebody wanted one of these are all sized for this.
For size 3.
Wants one of these, but they don't want it in this size, we just take one.
Okay.
No, actually, these are all sized for the size 2. So these are sized for the 50 inch.
50 inch. Okay. Thanks, Laura.
All right. So back to the colors. This one's a little brighter. Oops. Keep getting these weird little pop up. I don't care about the news or whatever it is you're popping up to tell me. And this one is a little, well, no, they're all really unique. They are unique. Okay. So I'm going to push these forward a little bit. Because there's 3 more. Oops. And once you've had a look at the group, anybody who wants to see any of them separated, just say so, and I will pull them apart and we can look at the individual skeins that are here.
Laura,
Yes.
is the one that you've got balled up in the center, is that what's in the stripes around the neck?
Yeah, that's the accent. So that would be the equivalent of the pink that you're seeing here.
Got
That
it.
they've got here and here. Now, it's kind of, the instructions are a little bit loosey-goosey. Certainly it's telling you the pattern stitch. It's giving you guideline on how to use the colors. But you don't need a huge amount of guideline because being chevron, you do want places where there's contrast. And then it's nice to have resting places where there isn't contrast. And it will give you some guidance on where to use the accent color. But really, it's kind of up to you, and you can't make a mistake. There's just so much going on, you can't make a mistake with it.
Laura, are you, excuse me, are you repeating the colors that are there or no?
This is it.
So number 5 is gone and number 2 is gone.
Okay, we're gonna take those right out. Do you want to tell me who they are, and I'll put the name?
Number 2 is Nini.
Jan wants number 6.
Number 5 is Teresa.
I should have known that, Teresa. Actually, it's kind of funny. I did think about certain customers as I was pulling certain colors together. Okay, and somebody said 6.
Jan is number 6.
Laura, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, the jacket that you're wearing, it's essentially a green. So different colors. So number 2, what is the main color basically?
Number 2 is gone.
Yeah, I know. This is Nini.
Oh,
I'm
Nini,
asking about-
sorry. It's her.
So surprisingly, this has more color in it than you think. There's a sandstone, there's a navy, there's a light green, a medium green, and a dark green. So in number 2, you've got the dark blue and the multicolored, I think maybe it's alpine, which probably are going to wind up being like the beginning part down here. They're going to function together as a dark color. If you remember some of my other patterns, it'll say use these colors together, occasionally mix these 2 colors up. So it's going to give you that kind of guidance. I would say that in number 2, I just thought that it was a really nice combination of colors. It's not going to give you one overall look like this one is green with pink accents. Yeah, I don't think it doesn't have the same kind of one overwhelming thing.
Okay,
You okay with that?
yeah, I'll give it a go.
Laura, can you do this in cool stuff?
This must be
The whole
hard.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
How many skeins would I need?
Probably 5.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Laura, number 3 is Ruth.
Oh, I like this one, Ruth.
Yeah,
I do too.
this will be gorgeous on you, boys.
I need her.
Now, I will say this. The linen gives, see how you can kind of almost see through it? That's because it's linen and the linen is on a slightly bigger needle than it should be. You can certainly make this jacket out of stuff, cool stuff.
Oh,
It's not going to have that same see-through quality.
wait a minute.
It's not going to have that same this. So I would probably make the size that is closer to what you would normally actually wear. Don't let it be quite so oversized. And then it would be great. So you probably might need, I don't know what size you would contemplate making, but you might not need 5 skeins.
That'd be probably the 50-inch.
You can keep the sleeves like this.
Yeah, I'd probably go, well, that or all the way down, depending, and I have stuff to add to it, so.
Okay, well, you probably, you might be able to get away with 4, and you might want, I don't know, some symphony or some leftover tencel or something that's a little flatter to do things like the edges.
Yes, got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I need to clean a couple things up. I didn't notice earlier in the chats that Anne said she wanted number 3 before and Ruth came after.
So hang on, just let me go look on the shelf and see if
Yeah.
I can get really close to it, because
So let's
that
do
one I might be able to.
Fingers crossed, Ruth, sorry.
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Okay. So
I think-
Ruth, are you still wanting a number 3?
and also Nini, if you go online and purchase this through the website, on the website, you will say that you want size 1. So
Okay,
all of you, when you buy, just tell us what size you want, so,
okay.
good. So 1 and 4 are left, all right.
No, one's gone.
Oh, number 1 is gone. Eileen,
Yes. Yes, I can.
All right.
Okay.
That's for Ruth.
Okay, I just have to, I don't have the stuff right here, but I can get the stuff.
okay,
I'm quite certain if I don't have that flash, I can buy that flash. Nope, I got it.
perfect,
Okay.
So you,
all right.
you can't do another 5 though, right?
Let me go look. I might be able to. Okay, so this,
Laura, number 1 is also spoken for,
okay,
number 1. And that's,
That's right.
that's
We're
Eileen.
running a record. So. But we do see that number 1 is Eileen is yours.
Got it.
okay, number 1 is for
Eileen.
Eileen, okay. Okay, and I'm looking at number 5, right? Is that what I'm looking
Yeah.
for?
Yeah.
See
Jill
if I-
wants 5.
If I can redo 5?
Yeah.
This is pretty. We need her to spread this out because this is very.
quiet and subtle.
Yeah, it's
Pretty.
beautiful. Well, it's gone. That's how beautiful it was. It's for Kathy. Thank you, Kathy.
All right, while Laura is running around, does anybody have any questions or comments about things? Kathy, we got your order, so we're in for number 4 for you.
Great, thanks. Tell us about your upcoming trip, your next trip.
Well, gee, we'd love to.
At the next pause, we will.
All right, yes, we will. We'll tell you about our next trip.
So for a number 5, what I don't have is the Blue Lagoon, which is right here,
Okay.
which means that there isn't that amount of blue. But if I substitute this one for that one, it brings more blue in here. And I do have the purple and I do have the stuffs, so that's not a problem.
Okay. I'll take that.
Good.
Jill.
All right.
Yeah.
And that is
Jill.
for
Jill.
Yes.
Jill. Hi, Jill.
Hi. How are y'all?
Ah, fabulous. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Are the patterns available for purchase?
sure. Just,
And number
just by-
4,
just by the name that we've just been calling it, the oversized duster.
Okay, Laura, number 4 is gone, so we're sold out.
and that goes to Kathy.
Okay. Well, I think you're all going to love these. I do. I think this is great. And I will say I probably got a little overzealous for me, but you should see my 6-foot-tall friend Brigitte in this. It's really
yeah.
stunning on her.
Yeah.
That Brigitte, you know.
She's
Such a
fabulous walking mannequin. That's for
Yes,
sure.
she is.
Laura,
Yes, she is. Yeah.
Laura, I have another question.
Yeah.
Okay, in the duster pattern, do you specify how often you change colors?
I'm giving you guidelines. So most of this is done with ABC.
Okay,
So it'll say, you know, do approximately 2 inches ABC and then do, so because it's chevron, you want it mixed up. So there'll be, I'm also going to take, you know, quite a detail shot of this. So rather than me saying, oh, do this, do this, do this, you can almost follow along and say, oh, okay, yeah, now I need a contrast stripe of several rows or something. But yes, there will be guidelines.
okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, now, this is my new favorite. I'm so excited about this sweater. If I can figure out where I put it. Where did I put it? Okay, I got it. I got it. All right, I'm really very excited about this sweater. Brigitte said she hadn't been knitting all fall. And she saw this and she said, oh my God, I have to knit again. So this is
Very nice.
200 club yarn with a strand of gossamer held with it. So gossamer is our lace weight kid mohair. It's incredibly soft. And what it does to the colors and the feel and the drape and the whole package of this is just unbelievable. So again, this is 200 club yarns that have made magic balls with a strand of kid mohair held together with it. So I'm calling this Beach Fog because it wasn't really a color. It's just, I just picked colors that I thought looked really nice together. And if I get closer, I'm going to do my little hop on the counter thing before I put yarn here. You can see how nice the colors are in this. And it just softens everything. It's really, really pretty. So Brigitte got excited and she said, I want to do something. And we decided that it would make a fantastic throw. And we did this throw, but this is with kid mohair instead of, which is a little bit heavier instead of gossamer. So these are two of the colors. This is Dune. What I'm wearing is Beach Fog. Now, prepare yourselves. I don't know how I'm going to make this work, but I'm going to try. And these are repeatable. So these individual colors are these individual colors are on the website.
Laura, you said the colorway that you're wearing is Beach Fog. What's the name of the pattern?
Soft chevron.
Am I seeing sequins in that?
I think that probably there was a little tiny bit of shimmerati. Now, here's the interesting thing. Oh boy, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but we'll struggle through. Here's the interesting thing. So because I realized that the 5 skeins of 200 club yarn that you need isn't enough variety. What I'm now specifying is 5 skeins priced at the price, and then a little kit of undersized skeins, that bits and pieces and undersized skeins that go with it to bring your variety up. Okay, and that is really highly discounted. And I don't know how I'm going to do this. We're going to do it a little bit at a time because these are repeatable and they are on the website. It's not as important that I do the whole shebang, but I had more fun putting them together, and they really are beautiful. So there's your gossamer. There's your 5 main colors. And then here's the little bits and pieces of extra things that get to go with it.
Oh, Laura, this is gorgeous.
Thank you.
It's the first time seeing this. This is gorgeous.
Yeah. And this one is embers. I lost my little thing. This one is taupe. We've got Kilimanjaro. So there's not very much shimmerati left, which is the sequin yarn.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want me to see if there's a shimmerati color that fits with your color, and we have it, certainly we can add that in. You just buy the skein of shimmerati. Not a big deal. This one was rather lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Tamarack, that's always popular in the blues and greens.
What's the one you just had to your right, Laura?
One, Arroyo.
Arroyo.
Mm-hmm. I do have little things here, but it's hard to make them show. There's another whole tray of these. So, but remember, these are repeatable. So you don't have to claim it right this minute. It's going to be here. And again, when I get done, anybody who wants to see one isolated, I'd be happy to do that.
Oh my gosh.
So this one I think would be quite wonderful. This is terracotta. Does anybody remember terracotta? Good old color.
We have a question, Laura, maybe you can address it. You know, it's mentioned in the 200 Club, the accent kit, which is an addition.
Yes.
And so I know it's the little bits of fun that you plopped on top there, but maybe you could address that.
So it's probably another 400 or 500 yards of other yarns that work in that become accents, not main portions.
Like the
And
sequence.
it's just because for that little extra, you know, if you'd have, there's at least 4 different additional textures. So that's like another, that if you were buying all those yarns, that's another somewhere around $100. So instead it's like $30 and you get partials, because I have partials. And what I found was when I was making my own, I was pulling out those little bits. Now, if you have huge amounts of stash and they're working those colors, then you don't need that little kit. You can just put your own stash in there, like I did. But if you don't, and you want that selection of extras, see, like there they are, all those little extras.
Yeah. It's really fun to see these colors all laid out, Laura. And then
I thought it would be good, even though they're there in pictures, it is fun to see them. And I'm gonna run out of room, you know. I could put one here. Oh, this is a good one. So this one's really fun. I think that I kind of named them after the color of gossamer. So this is Tahoe, and oh, it's just all these beautiful, rich, jewel toned.
That's beautiful.
Autumny colors. All right, there's 2 more. So
So Laura, go over one more time. Just tell us the color names. We
sure.
start with,
This is taupe.
got it.
This is embers.
Okay.
Kilimanjaro.
Yes.
Cabernet.
Cabernet.
Arroyo.
Yes.
Tamarack. Terracotta. Tahoe.
Good. Thanks.
All right. Does anybody want to see them? How can I do? You know what? Let me just push this forward. I'll do the other 2, and then I'll kind of take them away and isolate them as I do it. How's that sound? So I have Sierra. Which is all these yummy greens and deserty colors. Accents. And I have sky, which so lavenders and blues and greens, again with all kind of little accents. And this one does have sequins because there was a partial skein of sequins. All right, now who wants to see what?
Overwhelming.
Let's see.
So if you order, do you specify that you want the accents added?
Yes, I think, I don't know, Fontel, how do you have it done as a kit?
Yes, but we have you can opt into putting the accent yarn in or not.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, I see it now. It's at the bottom.
Okay.
But if
Perfect.
we say we do want the accent yarn, it's the one you're showing as a part of this kit, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so otherwise, the kit's at a price, and the price is for all sizes. And if you want the accent added, so it's a bit of, the sequins and, it's the stuff that highlights it, then that's an additional charge,
Okay.
which you see on there is $30. So you just check that you want that added to the kit. We separated it out because if you had a bit of this and that in your own stash, like Laura said, then you might
Sure.
not want it. But if you want it color coordinated or you don't have some of that, then there it is. Can be added on.
Laura, this is Teresa. Between terracotta and Tahoe, is the Tahoe the more royal colors, would you
Yeah.
say?
Yes. Well, good. This is a good excuse to do this. So, all right. So, terracotta has a lot more rust in it because that's what terracotta is. So the terracotta colors, so those are all your main colors. All right. And then it's odd because that one goes with that. No, that one goes with that. So this one is more teal with rust, and the Tahoe has that very strong gold in it. Okay, so the Tahoe colors are a lot brighter in general. One, two, three, four.
That teal and rust looks great together.
Yeah, this will have a lot more variation of color. Oh, that one's not. There we go. And yes, it is a more royal blue. More teal here and more royal here. I love, and it's not for everyone, but I love the addition of this gold and then this gold and lime. I think is going to really make that pop.
Laura, I'm thinking of something for my sister, so she has very different colorway than I do. Could you compare Sky and Arroyo? And
Yep.
see those side by side.
All right. So Sky is pretty much what you would expect. It's all these soft blues, lavenders. There is your, I wonder where that went. There's your main group. And then the accents, there's a little bit darker, a little bit of turquoise, more light blue. This one has some cream and lavender in this partial skein of Shimmerati. So it's very blue. There's just, it goes a little bit of green and a little bit of lavender, but it's really not, going outside of other. Whereas the Arroyo has a lot more going on. So you've got, I called it Arroyo. Really, this gossamer color is Portofino for those Prism connoisseurs who actually know all the colors. So we have still that true blue, that light blue, but we also have, rose and lavender and sage green and this really wonderful melony color. And then, well, celery green, then sage green, some sparkles in there. A lot more warmth in this one.
Yeah.
A lot more pinky colors, but it's not, they're like they're rosy pinks. They're not pink. They're not bubblegum pink.
Yeah. Kind of like seashell.
Almost more melon.
Okay.
They're both great.
So this one's going to look more like mine, but sweeter. Not as foggy looking as this is, because the colors are more related and more pure.
Yeah. And are you carrying the gossamer throughout?
The entire thing.
Every other color change, you've still got gossamer.
Yeah, the again, I recommend making a magic ball. So you're just knitting with 2 strands through the whole thing, and the magic ball changes when it changes.
Yeah.
And 2 things notable about this sweater. So the fronts and the backs, again, don't match. They, you know, there's a side seam and the things don't match. They don't need to. But notice that the sleeves do. Not only do the sleeves match, but when I came up to here, the 2 shoulders match. So the way that I do that, and this is in the instructions, but it's kind of fun to tell you about it. So you're knitting along, and you get up to here. Well, if you finish this little bit, it's liable to finish with just 1 yarn, because there's just, I mean, it's just not that much knitting. So when I get to that point, I pull that yarn out, cut it in half, save this half for the other shoulder, continue on, and just keep doing that until all those yarns are used up. And then I make a little mini ball out of what's over here to finish this shoulder, so that the shoulders are continuous and identical. And then I did the same thing with the sleeves, because a sleeve is about half the width, more or less, of a front or a back. At least when you start, it is. So you take the very first yarn and you pull half of it out and you clip it and you wind it into a little ball and you set it aside and you work to the next yarn and you take half of it and you put it on that ball and you finish with the other. And when you're all done with this sleeve and you have this ball here, it's inside out, right? Because you started by winding at the bottom. So now you just rewind it in the other direction and you're starting in exactly the same yarn and you're getting sleeves that match. Do they match row by row? Not exactly, but it looks right. You don't have this dark green here and down here.
That's a good note.
Mm-hmm.
Laura, the Cabernet that you showed is gone. Somebody would like that. And somebody would like you to show the Sierra.
Okay. Can I move these, Jan?
Yes. Thank you. You know, of course, I want them all.
Well, remember, these are repeatable, you know,
Lord.
at least until I'm 80 and I'm gone. Or whatever it winds up being.
What size needle is it, Donna?
I think this was a 7.
Okay.
A 7 or an 8. Hang on. Because I think it was an 8, because you've got the kid mohair with it, so it's a little bit bigger gauge than the 200 club alone.
And then a Shimerati question. Do you have
if you want a Shimerati to go with? I mean, there's not a lot of Shimerati left, but I mean, I have gray, olive, dark gray, light gray, Cabernet, rose, jade green, citrus green, embers. I mean, there's probably a Shimerati to go with anything.
Okay.
If someone wants, but that's an extra. It's not going to be part of the kit.
Right.
Okay. So Sierra, and this is it's kind of a stretch for this to be Sierra, because I added a little bit of this rust, but you got a lot of the warm sagey colors, and then a little bit of actually a fair amount of the tealy blue, the soft teal, some gold, just a little. See that sharp limey chartreuse green, you don't want a whole skein of that, because you don't want a lot of that, but a little tiny bit of it is going to be fabulous in there. So that's kind of the point of those accent kits too, is that there are colors that look really good in there, but you don't want mass quantities of it in there. You want just a little tiny bit.
I remember your quote, Laura, from the first color class I ever took with you. There are no bad color combinations. There are only bad proportions.
Bingo. It's pretty much, and it's still true. It's still true. So, anything else here?
Okay.
All righty.
All right. All right.
Tissues.
Hang on. Let me get boxes for this. I have so much fun putting these things together for you guys. And of course I did take pictures, so it's not like I'm gonna lose this completely, but still.
Dorte, before we pile all those on there, Dorte, would you like the Sierra that you saw? Would you like your name put on that? Yes. So that Sierra that you just, yeah. It's for Dorte, Dorte. Thank you.
Okay.
And the terracotta, Laura,
Okay.
for Dorte.
Okay. But don't despair anybody because I can do them again. All right. Put that in a different box. Oops.
And Laura, if you need to know this or you don't need to know this, she wants the extra kit with both of them.
No, it's already with it, so yeah.
Okay.
As long as it comes to
You're
me in
showing
the
it.
order, yeah,
All right.
we'll be good.
Thank you.
Mhm. You guys, you're my color. This is my color group. No, nobody ever wants these neutrals. Not amongst you, anyway. Okay, next thing. Those were the ones that had the most stuff going on. So now we're not going to be quite so lengthy, I don't think. So this is a very fun piece. My model insists on taking things off with the sleeves inside out. So this is a symphony jacket, and the edging on this is very Chanel style. The edging on this is our Constellation ribbon, which is a 1/2-inch ribbon with a little metallic running down the middle of it. And this is done in a loop stitch all the way around the jacket itself, front and bottom edge, front, collar, and sleeves. So it's very boxy, very Chanel style. This is, the body is half linen stitch with 2 colors. And here's an alternate colorway. So I put together, and these colors again are on the site, so you don't, and they're absolutely repeatable. So you don't have to worry, you can just order what you want. Let's see, I'm trying to, there we go. You can see how lush that trim is. So here is what a variety of colors can look like. So we've got embers, which would be these 2 in the body, and then that on the edge. Kilimanjaro. See, why did I do these neutrals? For the group that doesn't like neutrals. But this is this group, Alpine, with the deep forest and the deep blue violet, and then Yeah, that shows the color pretty well. And I think this one's pretty interesting. They don't, this one has one solid symphony and a multicolored symphony. This is two solid symphonies, so it can go either way. So this would be really beautiful. It's plum and Yosemite with the Yosemite trim.
What are you calling that group?
This one?
It's
Yosemite.
called the Chanel style looped trim jacket. If you're on the website looking at the kits, it's the Chanel style looped trim jacket. I'd put it in the chat, but for some reason it's stuck. So sorry.
Oh, that's elegant.
Yes. And of course, you cannot pass up tumbleweed.
That's pretty too.
So that is, again, this is something that you could invent your own. They're just symphony colors, standard symphony colors. Let's see. If you don't like wearing, this, I'll put the other one on as well because these are two different sizes. This is a bigger size, which I like because I want this, when you're wearing it, to pretty much stay. I don't want it out here. You'll see what happens when I put the other one on. But you can certainly do what Chanel does and put a snap there, you know, a big coat snap or a pin. I mean, I like it with the pin. It's not the right pin for it, but that's all right.
This is gorgeous, Laura.
It really is.
Yeah, it's fitted. Can you explain how the edging is done?
So it's actually a really interesting, yeah, see, this one's too small for me. See what I mean about this?
Yeah, but the
separating?
color's beautiful.
And if I wanted to wear it, I would just do this. I don't mind it coming apart a little bit here. I think that looks fine.
Yeah, this is really cute.
So when you do this loop stitch, you start with a couple rows of garter. And then I just did this one not too long ago. So let's see if I can remember. You knit and you bring the loop out around your thumb. And then you knit in the other side of the stitch and you bring another loop out around your thumb. And then you know what, I don't remember, but it's not difficult to do. I'm not saying it very well. At any rate, you wind up knitting two together that anchors it. It anchors the loop. So the loop doesn't really, you know, you can tug on it. It doesn't really go anywhere. And it's all done at the end.
That's way cuter on you than it is in the picture.
Well, it's always nice when you see people moving.
Mhm.
You know, that it's just, yeah, it's
It's really cute.
see, this was a collaboration between me and Brigitte, and she did the knitting on this one, and I said, oh, this is too small for me, I would never wear it. But you know, now I'm looking at it and I think I would wear it. So when I did the other one, I said, oh, it's got to be bigger, and I think I made it too big for me.
Yeah, I think that fits you well.
Yeah, I think this one is okay for me. You know, we all have hang-ups about our bodies.
Yeah, this looks really nice on you, Laura. And Mary Ann made a really nice comment because she said that the instructions are really great and that it's an easy top to make. So that's quite nice to know.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, you know what, it really is an homage to Chanel. It is very Chanel style, and all of a sudden I'm seeing more things in ready to wear that are reminiscent of that old style Chanel in the shape and in the fabrics. And in this case, of course, it's all about the finishing. It's I mean, it's a nice top, but that looped ruffle makes it. So any questions about this? All right.
Okay, the name of the yarn again It's
It's-
Symphony. And the ribbon is Constellation. So the body is Symphony and the ribbon is Constellation.
Well, I probably should have moved this one up because this is this is throwing back to the 200 Club, and those of you who were with us last year will remember this, which I called Coco a Go-Go. Again, it's Chanel style in that it is shorter, a little bit shorter, 3/4 sleeve, and the yarn management side of this, because when you're changing yarns all the time, you gotta know what you're going to do with all those ends. Otherwise, you wind up miserable. So what this is, hey there. What this is fringe, very short fringe. It's not short when you start, but you can see that there's a slip stitch and a slip stitch line all along. The fringe is tied, but then there's a slip stitch line along the top of it that really keeps it from separating, and then you can trim it off short like that. So, but this wound up being expensive because in order to do this very specific striping, you had to have a lot of yarn. Plus, not everybody wants, I don't know. So I kept looking at it and thinking it's an awfully nice shape. It's just not, this is not getting its due. So I did a standard old 200 Club, just randomly change yarns. And I do think I like this better. It's very soft visually. The colors are real subtle, and it's not a magic ball. This was actually, you knit you knit 2 rows, and it's half linen stitch. So you knit 2 rows, and then you cut and tie, and you knit 2 rows with the next yarn, and you do the whole fringy thing. Now you could do it with a magic ball and just not worry about the fringe. Then your knots would be on the inside and you just trim them off later. But it's a nice jacket. And it's just a certain, whatever the quantity number of skeins you need for your size is. So there's nothing crazy about it. You will see if you look at it in the website, that the difference between doing this one, where you needed to have 7 or 8, 9 to 10, 11 to 12 skeins to do it, you only need 6, 7, or 8 skeins to do this one. And it is another one, again, where you could pick 6 skeins and then order a accent kit so that you get proportion, so that you get some of those little accents in there that you don't necessarily want the entire thing. I think, you know, that's the drawback of the 200 Club yarns, is that 200 yards is a lot of yarn. It's often a fifth of a sweater. It's a fifth or a sixth of the sweater. But a few hundred yards of a variety of yarns gives you popping rows that you can have all over. So I want you to see how pretty this is. Instead of giving you a décolletage view. Just really pretty. All right. Any questions about those? All right.
That jacket was called Coco a Go-Go.
Yes.
Jacket or vest, so it could be a vest.
Yeah, that's because, do you remember? So there's a picture of it before the sleeves were made.
Yeah.
Because way back when we were looking at it and saying, oh, it'd be a really nice vest. So it's easy enough. You just leave them out. Okay, here's another yarn that we have very limited edition of. The yarn is the raw yarn is gone, so I have a fair amount of it dyed. This is Madison. If you've not knit with Madison, Madison is like Symphony's luxurious big sister. It's a little bit thicker. It's got one more ply, and it's got more cashmere, and it's got silk in it. So it's really a nice yarn. And this is 5 or 6 skeins of Madison in a Fibonacci fade. It's just a really nice vest. And again, with limited quantities, I just put together some kits. So I'm going to pull them out. I have the extra skein. So it says 6, 6, or 7 Madison. So in the largest size, the 7th skein is not a 7th color. It's a duplicate of the first color. So I have enough yarn for all of those, but I'm only going to make them largest, but I'm only going to put the 5 out just to save space, or the 6. I'm only going to put the 6 out to save space. Okay. So that is probably, that one's probably more similar to what I'm wearing. All right. That's kind of it, those 6. And again, I made it without buttons. It would be easy enough to put buttons on it if you like. I like to wear my things open. And yet again, and this is a little small for me because I actually did this for Vogue Knitting. And of course, they want model sizes, and I haven't been a model size since I was a teenager. So it's a little skimpy on me, but there is enough yarn to do the medium, or you get the extra skein, and you're using up more down here.
Laura, Jan would
Yeah.
like number 4, please. It's to your right. Nope, right in front of you on the
Other right.
There you go. You're right.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry, Jan.
Jan, yeah, Jan Lee.
Yep.
Thank
So
you.
Laura, in that one, it looks like it's a light teal in your that
Yes.
hand. Do you have
Yeah.
more of that color or not?
I'm checking. Nope. That was it. That was it.
In your model, you have it's more of a darker teal, though, isn't it? In the piece
Yeah,
that
and I
you
don't have
bought.
any of that either.
Yeah.
So, Jan, question for you: Do you want the 7th skein?
Probably so. I'm
Okay.
larger than than I once was.
Okay, sweetie. All right.
Laura, Gail
Yes.
would like, Gail Isaacs would like number 5.
Good one for you, Gail. How about you? Do you want the extra skein?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay.
For a skinny little winch.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that. It was true the last time I saw you anyway. Okay.
It's tough to decide colors. Oh.
How close can you get to a second number 4, Laura?
I am thinking that I'm going to have trouble getting anywhere because I worked like
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah.
to
Okay,
get-
well, don't make yourself crazy.
Yeah,
So,
to get these. So I don't think so. If I could have made more, I would have made more, which means that really what's left are
Okay.
a lot of dull neutrals.
Very special. Brenda would like number 1 with the extra skein.
Okay, Sue, sorry about that.
Okay.
Is the number 3 a green or a teal, Laura? Sorry to keep
It's a deep teal.
Okay. Then Teresa will take 3, I think, with the extra skein.
Actually, you'll like those with the extra skein. Yeah, you'll like those colors, Teresa. They're good for you.
And Sue will take number 2.
And Sue is SU. And Teresa,
Sue-
you wanted the extra skein?
I don't think Sue needs the extra skein.
It was Brenda.
Oh, Brenda.
Number 2 is for Sue, SU.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sue,
Yeah.
come on, yeah. And she doesn't want the extra skein.
no, I would think not.
She's a teeny little one.
What?
She's teeny.
Yeah, that's what I just, yes, I am remembering that.
Okay, you need to push 6 to the middle here. We need
Yes, I'm going to.
the lonely
last
little
one.
guy. Yeah.
I think that's gorgeous. I love that ochre. Yeah.
Well, this color is stunning. And this really isn't gray. It's
That's really
it's
pretty.
lichen, which I'm gonna get up and get closer.
Yeah, because the color on the end looks black, but I bet it's a green.
No, it's conifer.
It's
It
conifer,
is
it's a green.
conifer.
Yeah, so it's that yummy green and then sapphire. I mean, those two together are incredible. Bittersweet, so it's rusty. Then lichen, see, this is that,
That greenish.
Yeah.
yeah, with a
Clay green.
lavender undertone. And then carnelian and 307. So hang on, that looked pretty good when I held them up. So let me try holding them up.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura.
It's all right. Might become mine. You never know.
Oh, Madison's such a wonderful yarn.
It is a fabulous yarn. Yes, it is. Okay. And one last one that's along the same lines. Okay, let me go back to. So my story about this little sweater is that I knocked off the idea, the shape from a, I'm gonna take this off. No, I'm gonna leave that. No, I'm gonna take it off. From a piece of ready to wear. And I thought, oh, that would be a really piece of nice wear. That would be a nice piece of knitwear. And I remember, and I always did this, right? I took too many things to the shows. And so they wouldn't actually get their proper due. And this one, unless you put it on, it's kind of, you don't really understand what's going on with it. So what is going on with it is that it's a really big, two really big airy pieces of gossamer that have a center section in radiant petite Madison. So there's a little bit of glitter, and I'll get close so you can see it. But you can, and then the seam is sewn here. So you have these little flappy things here, and it's really very sexy. And I remember when Fontel's helper Gail put it on at one of the shows, and when I came down between class to see what was up, she said, "Laura, this is fabulous." And I think she wore it the rest of the weekend. Do you remember that, Fontel?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, she did, and she sold me one.
And there you go.
Really, really pretty.
This is another case where there is no more petite, there's no more radiant petite.
You could also move that seam out, and you could also just tuck it underneath
It's true. You
the
don't.
armhole and leave the sides open.
Correct. You can do a lot of things with it. Oh, and before I pull the colors out, let me come closer so you can see that the
Sequin.
It's gorgeous.
the radiant goes in Fibonacci numbers out to the complete. So you get this, you get a very subtle effect that you can only really see if you're seeing it
Live.
for real, on someone. All right.
So this is called the Aphrodite.
Yes.
And I will tell you, this kit's only $129. So it's
Yeah, it's a
very
steal.
special. Yeah.
It's a steal. And there is almost no radiant petite left. And what there is left for the most part is not solid colors. So, and I don't see this being done in multicolors. I think the effect is the tone on tone. So with that in mind, here is number 1. And I called it Aegean because my photograph looked like it was Aegean, but it isn't. It's conifer. It's that lovely darkish green. We've got Aegean.
But on the website, it's called Aegean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Just
it's number 1. I mean, I'm just saying that this doesn't probably look a lot like the picture. This is
not, anyway, yeah, this is not on the
is charcoal. Have loam, but go by the numbers because this is it. There's nothing else. So this is brown, but it's a rich brown. Four is mustard. Ocean, I seem to have lost my little 5. I don't know where it is. Okay, but ocean. 6 is shale. So this is dark, but it's not really black. It's a little taupey. 7 is time. I don't know why I called these things what I called them. Because this is much more blue-green than time. Oh, we're just going to go by the numbers because the numbers are the numbers. And then we have this deep, this is the closest thing to what I'm wearing, but I have to tell you that I didn't have it in radiant. So this is not radiant. This one is regular petite Madison. So there's no sparkle.
Laura, I'll take ocean.
The colors were awfully nice. Okay.
I'll take ocean. Yeah.
Charcoal is going to Kathy.
Number 6.
Yeah, give me numbers on this. Okay, hang on.
Number 2.
Okay, hang on. The who said ocean?
Maria.
Okay, let me. Since I lost a little number, let me make a new thing for it. Okay, I'm sorry. And next one was
number 2. Yep, goes to Kathy. And Laura, explain the percentage of ingredients in Petite Madison, The yarn is a wool. It's cashmere and silk and
Yeah, it's 73 merino, 7 cashmere, 10 silk, and 10 stellina, which is the sparkle.
yeah,
It's a glorious yarn.
it's a glorious yarn. Does either loam or shale have any purple in it? No.
No.
Yeah, no. So shale is number 3, right, Laura? And it looks a little plummy on the screen, but really it's
Yeah, let me get closer with it,
it's a
because
taupey
no, it's more accurate when I get closer. It's actually kind of rusty underneath.
Yeah, I could see where you think it's plummy though.
I can see that too, but it
Yeah.
isn't.
But it isn't. No, it's kind of it's a clay brown.
Yes. Yeah. Its undertone is rust. It's rust with it's actually rust with black dyed over it, or gray dyed over it. So what that does color wise is it makes a brown, but you get a little more rustiness. Whereas this one that I'm calling shale, the Petite Madison really is shale. The gossamer is ebony.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's
That's
pretty.
gorgeous.
Can you hold up the loam while you're there?
Sure.
It's a little bit lighter, isn't it?
Yes, it's definitely lighter.
Yeah.
It's got a little more brown to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
that kind of clay brown, but yeah.
Can
Let's
you
see if
hold
I-
up the 7 also?
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yes.
Me too.
And then the number 1, I think, is more of the
Number 1 is
green.
greener.
Greener, right?
Yeah, it's definitely greener.
Shale.
Mm. So 7 is time. I think this is Teresa. I'll take 7.
7 is more you. I will tell you that.
And Mary's going to take shale, which we think is number 6.
Yes.
And that's Mary.
Okay.
So we have 3 left, Laura?
4. We've got
4
4.
left. Can't see the front one.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, that's the loam. Okay.
That's the loam.
So we have loam and mustard. Okay.
Yeah, these are pretty. Does anybody have questions?
Yeah.
No, we've answered all the questions. Wait, remind me, is the loam more brown or gray?
Brown, more brown.
Yeah. It's just a brown without yellow.
It's
Right?
not yellow at all.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a brown without yellow.
Yeah.
Laura, it's Dolores. I have a question. I'm thinking about the green one for my daughter, but she's 5'10" and she's a big girl. Will that be enough yarn, or might she need more? Might I need more?
Well, if you need more, there's nothing we can do about it, but I don't think so. Hang on. Okay, this is more than my fingertip.
Okay.
Okay. And as far as being big, she would just seam it way out here. That's the beauty of this. You seam it where you need to seam it, or you don't even seam it. So let me weigh this.
Okay.
That'll tell me how much was left over. Because I don't remember, I have to admit. So there is 100 grams. So there's 300 grams.
Dolores, it's also long on Laura because it goes down to her fingertips. So it might just be a little bit shorter
It
on
might
her
be shorter on her,
knee,
yeah.
but still be a nice tunic length.
Yeah, and well, she lives in Omaha, so I think for the summertime that would be really a nice little.
Really nice.
You know, Dolores, I've done something like this and I did not seam it. I wear it as a float and it is it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Remember
instead of
that?
seaming it, what did you do? Did you put some ties there?
You tack it like under the arm. So you tack it to make an armhole. She's going to get
Okay.
you tack it to make an armhole, but then you leave the side seams open. So then it's like a float.
Okay, okay, almost a tunicky.
Yeah, and very comfy.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll do the green then.
I know Laura's weighing because she had yarn left over as well, which
Mhm.
goes then to your length.
Right.
I'll tell you what, I think let me sign off. As soon as we sign off of this, I'll call you back and we'll do this.
While we're waiting for Laura to come back, does anybody have, excuse me, any other questions?
Okay, deal.
Okay, so there's 300 grams of yarn between the three, which comes out to 10 and a half ounces, and this is 8 ounces.
Oh,
So
okay. So
there
that's
is extra yarn. Now,
extra yarn.
what I don't know is the exact ratio of the gossamer to the, let's see if I can tell. 372, and this is 935. You're never going to run out of the gossamer.
Okay.
It's the radiant that might be. Do you think you need to make it longer?
Well, she's a big girl. I mean, she really is tall and she's large.
So you can. I mean, this is. That's 35 inches long, which is, you know, a pretty good length. The worst case scenario, if you made it longer, there is, you might not be able to do like the very last row in the Fibonacci, but there's.
No, I think I would leave it as it is. I think I would leave it as it is because if I really wanted, if I really had a lot of yarn, any yarn left over, I could do an edge on it.
And that was the next thing I was going to say, is that the very edge along the outside is the petite radiant. And if you added some length and you used up more of that, you just make your edge with the gossamer because there's tons of gossamer.
Okay. All right. What was the color right in front of you? The one.
That's the loam.
Could you hold it up just a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think I like the green. I think the green is a better
I
choice.
think this green is beautiful.
Thank you. That's what I will do.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Laura.
And that is?
Dolores.
Got it. All right, last call. I went to see if I could find the, I used to have a float in this color, which is not my color, but it was absolutely adorable. Unfortunately, I sold it, so I can't show you what that looks like. Well, if there aren't any more questions, I think Carrie and Fontel have some.
I do have one thing to say, Laura, would you look something up for us? In the Gossamer Soft chevron top,
Yes.
was Cabernet spoken for?
No, it's sitting right here.
Oh, so Ruth, it's still there. Would you like it? Embers of-
That's very, and that is repeatable, Carrie.
Okay, she was just asking because sometimes they want what they see right there.
Yes, of course.
And so Ruth, if you want that one, holler. Otherwise, you can get it online.
Yeah.
Yes, she wants it. Put her name on
Okay.
it.
All right.
I have a question for Laura that's maybe not for here, but I found 2 skeins of Galaxy that I bought at Stitches years ago. I have no idea what I was going to do with it. Could I use it on the Chanel jacket and just buy the Symphony? It's garden. Any suggestions on color?
What would you like to emphasize? I mean, garden is wide open.
Yeah.
So what would you like? Who am I talking to?
It's Jill.
Okay.
Do you want to think about it? And not take up too much time here.
Oh, hang on.
God.
So while Laura is searching out colors and yarns and so forth, we don't have a lot of specifics, but I will tell you that Carrie and I and Laura are going to collaborate for a Prism event. It might have a cruise involved with it.
Well, we do have specifics. We're just not telling you.
Hallelujah.
So we will have an event next year in 26 with Laura, and it's something we put on the back burner for a while, and we're going forward. We're just not saying all the specifics yet, but yes, next year, an event with Laura in Tampa, going out of Tampa, back to Tampa, read between the lines, and we will send all that info out a little bit later. So
Thank you, Laura.
yeah, and so
it's
you're
gonna be
the
fun.
only people who know because we haven't
Exactly.
advertised and we're just waiting. You know, we like to put the dots on the i's and everything, but in fact, we've cemented that down. So yeah.
Right.
All right. Okay, so Garden Galaxy. I like things that are this is a little edgy.
I like edgy.
But I think that would be really beautiful. I think unquestionably that would be gorgeous. And I think that this is very interesting.
Oh, that's pretty.
So you can kind of go in any of those directions. And hang on, let me look at one or two things here.
What are we talking about this for?
The Chanel loop trim jacket.
Yeah.
So you also could do a multicolor like this one.
Ooh, pretty.
With, with kind of any of these.
Ooh. That's amazing. What color is that one? The multicolor one in your hand?
It's Mojave.
Mojave? Just so I know what to order. Okay, what color do I want with that?
Hold that thought.
Talk about personal service.
Because I'm coming over. look at either of these.
Mm,
Ooh, that's
It
pretty.
looks awfully pale. That's because I've got black on.
It does look pale for me.
Yeah, hang on. Okay, you're all gonna get an amazing color lesson right now. Because camera lenses are not very smart.
oh, yeah. Wow.
What service, Laura?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, yeah, I think that's beautiful. I think that's incredible.
Not too pale for me.
Boy, it looks so pale on here, and it's really not that pale.
No. What about one of the darker colors with that one, with Mojave? No?
The problem is that it's going to start looking speckled, and I don't think speckled is a good look.
No.
Oh, that one's nice. God,
That would be pretty with the garden.
I would really like to get that to look more like what it really looks like, because it is not looking right. What does it look like in the blue? It still
Oh,
looks
that's
pale.
pretty. Yeah, that's
And
better.
it still looks pale. It's not that pale. I mean,
So you think that would work?
the green that's in here is this green. And the peach that's in here is this peach. So it's these colors.
Do you like that purpley one with it or not?
Yeah, I do.
That's what I want.
I do. I think that would look really nice with garden. So this is lilac. And
Lilac.
this is Mojave.
Okay. And I need 4 of each, right?
You need, you're tiny. Are we little?
Yeah, pretty little.
Okay, yes. For the petite or the small, you need 4 each.
Probably do a small. Okay. Oh, thank you. That was
Okay,
awesome.
welcome. Yeah, I
Really?
think that'll look really nice. Great thing to do with your 2 Galaxy.
Yeah. Would have probably lived forever beyond me because I had no idea.
Laura, I have a quick question. Do you have Shimmerati that would go with either the terracotta or the tamarack?
Mhm.
While Laura's looking too, and in case any of you need to run, I'm going to say thank you. I know Fontel will too, but thank you so much for coming and Zooming with us. We always appreciate it. We love seeing you. We appreciate your time today. So thank you.
And I will be here in the store for about another hour. So if I know I'm going to have a couple of phone calls, call me or email me if you have questions about your orders or questions about the presentation. And otherwise, I'll be back in the store tomorrow.
And Laura, Laura, Dorte would like Shimmerati with the number 2 kit she reserved. We'll make a note of that and we'll get with you. We don't
Okay.
have to do that now.
So for whoever just asked me about Shimmerati,
Teresa,
so I
yes.
have this deep blue
Oh, that's-
violet that would be fabulous with tamarack.
Yes, it would. Mhm.
And then I have either this olive or the brown that would work with terracotta. I think the olive would be better.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Mm.
So those I can just order separately.
Yeah.
And then
So
it's
it's
called
107
violet and olive.
No, it's 107 is the plum and 801 is the olive.
801. Got it.
And I'll set these aside so that they don't go anywhere.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay.
And Shimmerati to go with the number 1 kit,
Number 2.
the number 2 kit of
Soft chevron.
Soft chevron.
we named those by colors, not by
Sierra or
Sierra.
terracotta?
Oh, this same olive for Sierra. And I have another skein.
Okay. So she would like that in her kit.
Okay. just make
Brenda would like to know how she pays for her kits. This is a very good question, Brenda, and we appreciate you bringing it up so much. You can call us as soon as we're off the Zoom if you like, and give us your credit card number. You can go online to the website under kits
And just order it.
and just
Absolutely.
order it. But if it's easier for you to call us, we want what's easy for you. Okay.
This is nice to have a personal shopper, Laura.
it's nice that I'm getting the studio of the yarn so organized that I can do it pretty
That's
easily.
right.
So Ruth said thank you to everybody, and thank you, Ruth. And Dorte, I just want to get back to you. You reserved Sierra and Terracotta, and Fontel, can I email you? You can always email Fontel.
Absolutely.
These kits have been set aside for you, so.
Yeah.
And I think I got all your questions.
This is Kathy. I have a question for Laura.
Yeah.
I got on the call a little bit late, and I'm interested in that shaded tee, the one you're showing the back with the gradient colors going from black up to the gray, but I'm pretty short. So I think I wouldn't want as much yarn. I'm looking in the picture. It looks like the middle section has a lot more yarn in it. So how would I order that one if I wanted it, but wanted to make it a little bit shorter?
So did you see it's easier to look at this one because it's not black. So you're not seeing the bottom of it. Well, you could probably knock a skein off.
Okay. And if I wanted to do the gradient one that you're showing in the back, is that a considered custom, or is that considered one of the
just black to gray?
But it's not one of the choices. I just put
in the notes, just put black to gray.
Black to gray. And then I could then you'd take off one. It seems like the middle section would be the place to shorten it, right?
Well, no, I'm gonna knock one off the bottom.
I think I'd rather have more black though, just because of, wider hips.
Well, then I can knock one off the top.
Well, just from your picture, it looked like you had a huge block in the middle. That's the thing.
There isn't.
It isn't that way. Okay.
No, because this is 3 yarns, this is 3 yarns, this is 3 yarns, this is 3 yarns. I mean, you keep rolling over the yarns. So
okay.
Isn't the same as this, isn't the same as this, even if they look like it.
So in the black is actually 2 colors there.
It's 3 different textures.
3 different textures.
Okay, that's kind of why I was trying to show you this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, see if you look at this, see that down at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, now I can see it there.
Yeah, it's just easier to see it in the colors.
But I think I'd still like, if there are 3 in the middle, I think I'd still like you to knock off one of the middle ones and then keep the light one at all the light section at the top, if that would, if that
we can do that. We can do that.
So should I just put that in custom that I would
just put it in the note? Yeah, I'd like to say I'll remember, but
okay. All right, thank you. Yeah, that was my question.
Bente, are you still here? I wanted to talk about your request in the chat. You're asking for the Gossamer Soft Chevron in Tamarack. Yes. So the soft chevron is a pullover, and Gossamer might be the Aphrodite. I just want to make sure which.
No, the soft chevron has Gossamer in it.
Oh, it does. I'm sorry. So yeah. She would like that in Tamarack with Plum Shimmerati and the accent kit.
Yes, please.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Okay. And just put that, Bent, I know you'll go online, but just put that in, in your notes. So I've got it all. So share.
Okay. And what is the additional price for the Shimmerati?
$29.
Okay. I'll put that in there.
Okay. You got it.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Laura.
Hope you all enjoy knitting.
Say again?
I hope you all enjoy your projects.
Oh, yes, we love your yarns. You're the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. This is so much fun since we don't get to see you anymore.
Yeah, it's been a while, but
It's awesome.
excellent.
Haven't seen Carrie and Fontel either.
Thank you. All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. We hope you all had a good time.
Awesome. Thank
All
you
right.
so much. Take care.
All
Happy New Year, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.